It was just past midnight when I left the comfort of my bed and stepped into the cold night air. My younger sister had run out of something essential, and with no one else at home, I volunteered to make the late-night run to the nearest 24-hour grocery store, 15 minutes away on foot. The streets were quiet and deserted. I wore my headphones, listening to a podcast, my mind blissfully blank. The cool night breeze brushed against my face, and the soft rustle of the plastic bag I carried kept rhythm with my hurried footsteps. I wasn't scared, just in a rush. My sister was still waiting in the bathroom, and I wanted to get home quickly. As I walked back, I suddenly passed a man standing perfectly still on the sidewalk. His presence startled me. I hadn't seen anyone on the road until that moment. He didn't move or react, just stood there like a statue. I brushed it off. Maybe he was unhoused, or waiting for someone. Though who waits for someone in the middle of an empty street after midnight? Before I could think more about it, the thought faded. But then, not even a minute later, I passed another person. The figure of the person looks exactly like the person I just passed by. I slowed down, confused. Just moments ago, I had glanced at that very spot and seen no one. No footsteps, no sign of movement. Yet now, there was a figure standing there, as still as before, as if he had simply materialized. I didn't see his face, just a dark outline of someone with short hair, dressed in a t-shirt and shorts. Everything about him was fuzzy, like he was out of focus, a smudge in the night. But what I did feel, without question, was his gaze, sharp, cold, locked onto me as I passed. I shook it off and kept walking. My footsteps quickened and my heartbeat pounded in my ears. Then, a little farther down the road, I saw him again. He was up ahead. Again. Same build, same blur, the same unnerving stillness. It was impossible. The road was straight. No alleys, no turns. No way to get ahead of me without passing by. And I hadn't seen anyone walk past. I slowed my steps, observing him from a distance. I could make out the hazy details again. The faint black stubble on his scalp, the indistinct features, the sense that he wasn't fully part of this world. Every time I got near him, I felt it, that invisible pressure of being watched. I stopped completely. My body wouldn't move. I couldn't walk past him a third time. I just couldn't. I turned and crossed the street, choosing a longer path through a quiet, unfamiliar stretch of road. It looped around the neighborhood and would take more time, but anything was better than walking past that figure again. The wind was colder on this side, and sweat clung to my back despite the chill. My limbs were tense. I kept looking ahead, hoping not to see him again. But then, I did. The shadow was there once more, farther up the path, standing in the middle of the road as if waiting. A wave of helplessness hit me. I couldn't scream, couldn't cry. I just stood there, paralyzed. Just when I was about to lose hope, I heard a voice behind me. It was warm, familiar. I turned and saw a boy I hadn't seen in years, my childhood friend. He had grown up, but his appearance had barely changed. His short curly hair, his freckles, the little black mole on the bridge of his nose, everything was just the same. His familiar, smiling face. He used to live a few blocks away. That was why I knew this path. It was the way from his place to mine. We had played together almost every day back then. Maybe he still lived nearby. Maybe that was why he happened to be here at midnight. Memories flashed. His laughter, our games, that summer when he came over almost daily. He smiled at me, calm and casual, as if no time had passed. My heart was still racing, but his presence grounded me. Like a drowning person clinging to a rope, I told him about the eerie man who kept appearing in front of me and pointed ahead toward the shadowy figure. He glanced over, then shook his head. He told me it was nothing. Just a man standing out late at night. He offered to walk me home. I looked again at the figure. It definitely didn't feel like a normal person. It felt like a presence, and not a kind one. But my friend looked calm and confident. The memory of him always protecting me as a child came flooding back. He had always been reliable. The easy expression on his face helped calm me down, so I nodded and followed him. We walked side by side in the silence of the night. He positioned himself between me and the figure, shielding me. As we passed, the shadow didn't move. It just stayed still. My friend's presence blocked my view and made me feel safe. I didn't need to look at that thing anymore. He even made small talk as we passed, trying to distract me. Relief washed over me. The tension in my chest eased. As we walked, he told me he'd seen me standing frozen on the road and thought I might need help. I asked him why we hadn't stayed in touch and whether he still lived nearby. "That's what growing up does," he said. "It separates people." When we reached my home, I thanked him and promised to visit him soon. He smiled again and waved goodbye before walking away into the night. I handed the items to my sister, and after she finished her shower, I sat down at my desk. The whole experience felt surreal. I asked her if she remembered the boy who used to live a few blocks away, the one who had just walked me home. She turned to me slowly, her expression strange. Then softly she said, "He's been gone for years, since we were kids. You don't remember." The memory crashed over me. His absence, the empty hospital room, his parents' crying faces, the darkened house, the quiet goodbye. But tonight, he had walked me home and saved me from something I wasn't supposed to face alone.